Continuing with the Viking Portable Library, World Bible, edited by Robert O. Ballou. And I've got to be careful, particularly once I find out what the value of this is. The Hindu. Selections from Hindu scriptures. From the Garuda Purana of Associates. Double-tongued are the snakes and the malicious. Their cruel mouths are the source of many an evil to man. Avoid the company of an erudite miscreant. Is not the serpent that bears a gem on its hood doubly dangerous for the stone? Who is he that dreadeth not the malicious who work mischief without any provocation, and who are but the serpents in human form? Words of spite drop down from the mouths of the malicious. The fangs of serpents secrete deadly venom. Sit in the assembly of the honest. Combine with those that are good and virtuous. Nay, seek out a noble enemy where enmity cannot be helped, and have nothing to do with the wicked and the unrighteous. Even in bondage thou shalt live with the virtuous, the erudite and the truthful, but not for a kingdom. Shalt thou stay with the wicked and the malicious? You know, that poison of the heart, the bad company, or the upliftment of the heart through good company. The vile are ever prone to detect the faults of others, though they be as small as mustard seeds, and persistently shut their eyes against their own. Though they be as large as vilva fruits, I come to the conclusion, after much deliberation, that pleasure exists not where desire or affection has room to be. True happiness lies in the extinction of all emotions. Apprehension is where affection is. Where there is affection, there is misery. Pain has its root in love or affection. Renounce affection, and you shall be happy. This human body is a theater of pleasure and pain, and they come into being with the self of a man. Dependence or bondage is misery. Liberty or emancipation is the only happiness vouchsafed to man. And liberation is in service to God. But remember, love isn't some universal justifier. Never stay in a lonely place with your own daughters, sisters, or stepmothers. The fiend of lust takes advantage of solitude and pleads evil counsel to the heart to which the learned have been known to yield. How absurd is the love of God in his frolics. Well, I understand the point, but no. A courtesan is a dependent even in respect of her sleep, the sole aim of her life being to regale the hearts of her visitors as long as they can. Decently bear their wine. She is a sort of perpetual smiling machine, being obliged to hammer out a horse laugh, even with the weight of a lifelong grief, misery, and futility lying heavily on their heart. Her person is sold to others for money, while she often meets a violent death. Fire, water, a king, a woman, a fool, or a serpent used or provoked by another should be regarded as fatal. What wonder is it that a man well versed in letters will pass it as an erudite one? What is surprising in the fact that a king who is learned in the science of politics will rule justly as a virtuous prince? What is there to wonder if a young and beautiful woman, proud and conscious of her charms, leads a gay and fast life? What is there to surprise if an indigent person commits a crime? Now, the circumstance of the criminal should be regarded when considering punishment for the criminal, but remember, the poisons of the heart and expression and mistakes with consumption. How can I believe a rich man to be an anchorite, and a drunken woman chaste? Trust not the unworthy, nor confine any secret in your friend, lest he might betray you in a fit of anger. A vast, deep, and childlike faith in all, a universal clemency, and a close and watchful veiling of his own godlike, inherent virtues are the traits which mark a noble soul. In a diminished way, we should all strive to manifest qualities that remind people of God. Karma. A man is the creator of his own fate, and even in his Theta life, he is affected by the dynamics of the works of his prior existence. Well, that's going too far, but the reincarnation thing has made its way into the doctrines after the Jainists in particular. Whether confined in a mountain fastness, or lulling in the bosom of a sea, whether secure in his mother's lap, or held high above her head, a man cannot fly from the effects of his own prior deeds. This human body entombs a self which is nothing if not emphatically a worker. It is the works of this self and a prior existence which determine the nature of its organism in the next, as well as the character of its diseases, whether physical or mental, which it is to fall a prey to. A man reaps in that age, whether infancy, youth, or old age, at which he had sowed it in his previous birth. The karma of a man draws him away from a foreign country and makes him feel its consequence even in spite of his will. A man gets in life what he is fated to get, and even a god cannot make it otherwise. Well, a god can, has the ruling will, but things that are treated as gods, they don't necessarily have any power to do anything. A duty to children. The parents of a child are but his enemies when they fail to educate him properly in his boyhood. Well, childhood, more likely. An illiterate boy, like a heron amidst swans, cannot shine the assembly of the learned. Learning imparts a heightened charm to a homely face. Knowledge is the best treasure that a man can secretly hoard up in life. Learning is the revered of the revered. Knowledge makes a man honest, virtuous, and enduring to the society. It is learning alone that enables a man to better the condition of his friends and relations. Knowledge is the holiest of the holies, the god of the gods, and commands the respect of crowned heads. Shorn of it, a man is but an animal. The fixtures and furniture of one's house may be stolen by thieves, but knowledge, the highest treasure, is above all stealing. So are you just going to be an animal soul, or are you going to live out your purpose as a human being?